Hi everyone, and welcome back to Starflight Creations, my channel where I talk about my cross stitch. And we are currently at the end of week 3, about to head into round 4 of my August stitching game. I've been having a lot of fun with this, and I am happy to say I am actually still caught up, which is really good for me. So, where were we? So the last time that I left, we'd hit down to the quarterfinals. And so going into the quarterfinals, we had Reese, Passing Time Creations, Nastasia, and Sunshine. Nastasia took 4th place, and Sunshine took 3rd place, which is going to bring Reese and Passing Time Creations into the final. So this week, today, they will submit their stitch counts, and so we'll get a winner and a runner-up. And so all of the ones that were in the quarterfinalists got up to 600 stitches in each of their projects, which I will be showing you today. And then the two of them up top, Reese and Passing Time Creations, both of their projects hit 1,000, and those are the only 2 projects that are still sitting in. I am happy to say that I am really far into Reese's. I have it so that way I've almost even caught up to the 400 that they need for this last round. I think I have 280 left for that. So I really only have the stitches put into Passing Time Creations one, and then the 500 that will go into whoever's project wins. So I am doing really well for being caught up. So, to go into the actual projects that I have worked on for the last little bit. So one of the ones that got knocked out, hold on a second, let me go back and look. Yeah, so they were knocked out in round 2 that I still owed stitches for, was for Harpy Stitch is Wandering in Middle Earth. So this one needed 300 stitches, 100 stitches for the first round, and 200 stitches for the next round. I hate the backwards thing. So I'm really happy to say I got the full 301 stitches into this, and I am very close to having this whole left side of the hobbit hole done. The hobbit hole is broken up into 3 sides. The left side, then the center part with the door, and then a bigger right side. I've almost got all of the left side done by coming up and taking colors and bringing it down there. And I started bringing in some of the wood down here that separates the 2 sides. So I'm really excited to get that in. And it's one of those floss tube things that you kind of get used to everybody saying, when I picked up this project, it really flew. That's how I felt about this one. Now that I've got this one in Pattern Keeper, this one went flying really fast. Mainly probably because it's 14 count and on hand-dyed Aida, so the stitches go in really easy and they're really big, so it's easy to get them. And compared to some of the other ones I was working on, this one just felt so nice, and I kept wanting to go back and just keep working on this one. So my 301 stitches brought it up to 3,474 of 12,509. Again, that's just the top, just basically including the hobbit hole, since I haven't got any of the rest of it into Parakeeper yet, which brings it to 27.8% complete. And so the next one that I worked on was for Kat. She also, I believe, was knocked out. Yeah, she also was knocked out in the second round. And she didn't declare a project that she wanted to sponsor, so I put her for my Year of the Dragon, which was my birthday start this year. So I wanted to get some more stitches put into that. So I did put in 300 stitches exactly onto that, which brought it up to here. And last time I had kind of like to there with a little bit like it was like kind of like down and diagonal, and so I put in all the rest of this here, and this black goes all the way out to I think like here before it starts moving to something else. So I've been kind of working my way over so that way I can finish the black and get into something else a little bit more fun and exciting of a color. Oh, and I'm a little off. So this is Year of the Dragon by Yasu Art Studios. Here's what it will look like when it is completed. I am doing this one on a 25 count easy grid fabric. And so with my 300 stitches, that brings it up to 473 of 508,800, which brings it to 1%. And then the next one that I got to work on was for my friend Nastasia, who got knocked out in round 3. She had chosen the Nostalgic Tarot frame by the Witchy Stitcher. Here is what it looked like. So this is the whole frame with all of the cards. And I'm doing this on a 16 count fabric that I dyed black and then hand painted. And so this is what it looks like now. So I did almost probably 300 to 400 stitches of black, and then I went in and put in a little bit extra over in this paint bucket, and then I put in some of the grays in the actual panda itself around the eyes. So there was a whole lot of eating my vegetables here and a little bit of doing the rest of it just that way I wouldn't burn out. But I'm really happy that this one is getting really close to being down here. I think I just have a couple of colors that go in the quiver and that are scattered throughout here before I'll be down to the bench that he's sitting on. So this one got 601 stitches, and so it brings it up to 5,677 of 111,116 stitches total, which brings it to 5.1%. And I'm pretty sure that that brought that over the 5% marker, which is really big, really huge for me. I think that is the furthest along any of my big ones has gotten. So I was really excited about that one. That one, like I said, with the black, that working with satin floss, because that's what I chose to do to make the black stand out a little bit, was hard. And then just doing black stitches, while it got through the stitching really fast, was so boring. It was more fun when I started getting back to some of the bright colors. And so I think I have 2 tiny sections left of black that go across the bottom, and then I'll be done with black in that first card, and then I can just work on some of the brighter colors, where that'll be really fun. Alright, and so next I started hitting some of the ones that, yeah, so that one was in round 3, And then the other one for round 3. So yeah, that was 4th place. And then the other one was the 3rd place, which is Acorns and Friends by Lola Crow Studios. This one was chosen by Sunshine. I'm doing this on a 20 count mocha. And here's what it looks like. So I went in and took in a gray color and filled out some of the colors in the raccoon and the possum, and I stitched in this little mouse. So that was really fun to get a good chunk into that. So that brings it up to 1,279 of 7,529. So that brings it to 17%. And so while I only put in 300 stitches this time, I'd already put in the 300 stitches before for it. So it brought it up to 600 stitches total for the game. And so that brings me to the end of all the ones I've completed. The last one I have is one that still is due some stitches and is still in the game for today, which is Happiness, which is from Kona off of Etsy. That one's no. Let me move you. There we go. So that's what it will look like when it is all completed. And this one actually is getting pretty close to being there. So this is what it looks like now. So I went in and put in one of the S's in Happiness and continued some of the words down. Like I said, this one only got in 120 stitches this time, but so it is still 280 more to complete where it's at now, and then depending on how she does today, it might get that last 500. So it brought it up to 1,297 of 2,994, or 43.3%. So I'm hoping that maybe it might hit that 50% mark, though I think that's a little bit high of a goal to hit if it's only going to get the 280. But it was really fun to see this project really go from not a whole lot in it to getting really close to done just through the progress of the game. So that was really fun. And so like I said, we'll see how Reese does today and where that goes. I do have the 1,000 stitches that is owed into Hogwarts that was chosen by Passing Time Creations. So what is going to go going forward? I don't know if I will put out another video this next week. It'll depend on which days I actually get some stitching in. I have to if virtual retreat that is happening from Thursday to Saturday. So whether or not I get the stitches for Hogwarts in the beginning of this week, if not, I will continue on with the last week of the month and get them all knocked out then. So I will post back up here once I've got that done. Thank you for continuing along, and I will see you all next time.